Looks like did you get hit in the face?
I guess, yeah, but I hit him first.
Where did he hit you? Don't worry, just be honest.
He didn't hit me in the face. He didn't punch me in the face or anything.
Did he slap your face or what?
Well, he grabbed me with his nail. I was just apologizing, but I guess I said it in a mean tone, and he got really frustrated with me, and he locked me out of the car and told me to go take a breather, but I didn't want to take a breather because I wanted to get going. We're out of water.
You want to tell me about those scratches on your face?
She had a cell phone in her hand, that's why I was pushing her away.
On August 12, 2021, in Moab, Utah, police pulled over a white van after a 911 caller reported seeing a man slapping a woman. Inside were 22-year-old Gabby Petito and 23-year-old Brian Laundrie, travel partners, fiancés, and van life bloggers documenting their cross-country road trip. They seemed to live their dream with a van, the open road, sunsets. She smiled in every post. On Instagram, #vanlife looked like freedom. They were living the perfect life. But 6 weeks later, one of them would be found dead in the wilderness. The other vanished without a trace. When police knocked on Brian Laundrie's parents' door, they refused to answer questions and instead directed officers to their lawyer, which made investigation officers curious. Why have legal defense ready before speaking a single word? Within days, Brian disappeared, and the search for him exploded into a nationwide manhunt. Online sleuths scoured every frame of video, every social media post, sometimes uncovering leads faster than the police. But what was coming next was something no one was expecting. When police officers went to catch him, what they found shocked the nation and changed the case into a new direction, making this one of the most twisted cases. Watch until the end as we uncover where Brian was hiding, what police found that changed the case's direction, and why and how Gabby was killed. On July 2nd, 2021, Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie set out from Northport, Florida. Their plan was a months-long cross-country adventure, documenting every stop for their growing social media audience. The early posts painted a picture of pure freedom in national parks, sunlit selfies, hand-in-hand hikes. To followers, they were the perfect couple chasing the American road trip fantasy. But behind the pretty pictures and happy posts, problems were already starting to show. Friends noticed Gabby seemed anxious in calls. Brian's temper, they said, could flare without warning. These moments never made it online, but in the real world, they were building toward something no filter could hide. By late July, they had traveled through Kansas, Colorado, and Utah. Behind the wheel, hours of driving in tight quarters added strain. Gabby often took the camera. Brian often took control of where they went next. Then came August 12, 2021, a 911 call in Moab, Utah, reporting a man slapping a woman outside a grocery co-op.
Grant County Sheriff's Office.
Hi, can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hi, I'm calling. I'm right on the corner of Main Street by Moonflower, and we're driving by, and I'd like to report a domestic dispute. Florida with a white van, Florida license plate, white land, gentleman,
Where's
about
it at?
5'6", beard. They just drove off. They're going down Main Street.
What were they doing?
We drove by, and the gentleman was slapping the girl.
He was slapping her?
Yes, and then we stopped. They ran up and down the sidewalk. He proceeded to hit her, hopped in the car, and they drove off.
Okay, you said it's a white van?
White van. I can give you the license plate if you give me 1 sec. I took a picture of it. Florida license plate QFT G03. The make was a Ford. Model was Transit. Black ladder on the passenger side.
All right, I will let somebody know. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
Bye.
Thanks.
Police stopped their van. What unfolded on Bodycam would become one of the most analyzed videos in the investigation. A smiling couple one moment, raw and unraveling the next. Officers separated them for the night. No charges, no arrest, just a roadside warning and a suggestion to calm down.
To get him a hotel for the night so that you can have the van, because they won't give you the hotel because you're the one who is the primary aggressor. So they're going to consider him the victim, so they're going to get him a hotel. When you get the ticket, it's going to give you a phone number to call, and they're going to give you a court date, and that court date will probably be online.
Yeah.
So you can. I go to court. You're okay.
Sorry, I've
Yeah.
never heard of this. I didn't know
Yeah,
this existed in
when-
Utah.
when
I don't want to be separated.
You can have anxiety.
Yeah, nowhere to him, please.
But for investigators looking back, that stop was a flashing red light and a warning that in less than 3 weeks, Gabby would be gone. And in the days after her disappearance, witnesses would step forward with stories that pointed to August 27th as the day everything changed. But what exactly happened in those crucial hours, and why didn't anyone intervene? On August 27th, 2021 in Jackson, Wyoming, it was late afternoon when Gabby and Brian walked into Mary Piglet's, a small Tex-Mex restaurant in the heart of town. Witnesses remembered it vividly. Brian was agitated, arguing with staff over the bill.
She was visibly upset. She was crying. I said, "This guy is creeping me out." I remember those were my exact words because his temper, you could feel it.
Gabby stood beside him, apologizing, her voice shaking. She kept saying she was sorry. To onlookers, it was uncomfortable, a flash of real tension in what was supposed to be a dream trip. Some would later call it the moment you could see something breaking. That same afternoon, security cameras at Whole Foods captured the couple shopping. No shouting, no visible signs of trouble, just another normal errand. But within hours, they would vanish from public view and the timeline would tighten. On September 1st, 2021 in Northport, Florida, the white Ford Transit Connect rolled into the driveway of the Laundrie family home. Inside was Brian Laundrie, alone. Gabby was nowhere to be seen. To neighbors, it was odd. The van sat in the driveway for days. No sign of Gabby, no sign of concern. But behind closed doors, Brian's parents weren't calling the police. They weren't calling Gabby's family. And when officers finally knocked, they refused to answer questions and sent investigators straight to their lawyer instead. The move raised red flags. Why lawyer up before saying a single word? Did they already know something the rest of the world didn't? Meanwhile, Gabby's family was frantic. They hadn't heard from her since late August. Her mother remembered one text on August 30th. No service in Yosemite, but the tone felt wrong, almost as if someone else had written it. Then came the most disturbing detail. In the days after August 27th, someone used Gabby's bank card to withdraw more than $1,000. Federal investigators traced it straight to Brian. As news broke of Gabby's disappearance, the internet erupted. True crime forums, TikTok sleuths, YouTube investigators, all combing through photos, videos, and timelines. And in some cases, they were ahead of law enforcement. But as pressure grew, Brian slipped away. On September 13th, his parents said he went for a hike in the nearby Carlton Reserve and never came back. Her remains hadn't been found yet, but soon. A single discovery in the wilderness would change everything. But what was that turning point and how would it unravel the truth? On September 19, 2021, in the remote Spread Creek dispersed camping area of Wyoming, the search for Gabby Petito came to a heartbreaking end. Guided by tip-offs, timelines, and the haunting dashcam footage from Red, White, and Bethune, FBI teams moved into a clearing just off a narrow dirt track. There, in the silence of the wilderness, they found her. Gabby's remains lay in a shallow, concealed spot near where the white van had been parked 3 weeks earlier. Teton County Coroner Dr. Brent Blue would later confirm the cause, which was manual strangulation, with blunt force injuries to her head and neck. The time of death was 3 to 4 weeks before discovery. It meant she had likely died the very day witnesses saw her distressed in Jackson. This was not an accident, nor a tragic misstep in the wilderness. It was homicide. And with Gabby's death confirmed, the investigation shifted into a new phase. The prime suspect was clear, but he was nowhere to be found. While search teams combed the swamps of Florida, a critical piece of evidence emerged, one that tied Brian Laundrie directly to the crime in a way no one could dispute. But what was it, and why would it take weeks before the world learned what it revealed? On October 20th, 2021, Myakkahatchee Creek Environmental Park, Florida. For more than a month, the search for Brian Laundrie had been frustrating and hopeless. One morning, Brian's parents joined the search alongside law enforcement. Cameras rolled from a distance as they walked quietly into the dense brush. And then the first clue, a white dry bag, spotted just off the trail. Then a backpack, Nearby, a notebook, its pages warped and water-stained. Investigators closed in, marking the site, stepping carefully. But what was lying just a few feet away would stop them cold. It was human remains, skeletal, weathered, partially hidden in the thick undergrowth. For weeks, everyone had been asking, "Where's Brian Laundrie?" Now they had their answer. He was found dead. But this discovery didn't just end the manhunt. It raised even bigger questions. Near the remains lay a revolver, and inside that notebook, once carefully dried and preserved by the FBI, was Brian's handwritten confession. In it, he claimed responsibility for Gabby Petito's death. He described it as a so-called mercy act after an alleged accident. But the autopsy had already told a different story: manual strangulation, blunt force trauma to her head and neck. This wasn't mercy. It was murder. The notebook was the smoking gun investigators had been waiting for. The FBI concluded there were no other suspects. Gabby's killer was found, but he had taken his own life before facing justice. Still, the ending didn't feel like closure. Gabby Petito's parents refused to let her name fade into a cold case file. They pursued civil lawsuits, one against Brian's estate, another against his parents, and a third against the Moab Police Department for their handling of that August 12th stop. For the public, the mystery deepened. Why had his parents joined the search only on the day his body was found? Our deepest condolences go to Gabby Petito's family. For more true crime stories, subscribe to Evidence Eye.